Hello everyone. So today we're going to explore one of the most fascinating and mysterious ideas in modern physics, and that is string theory. एक ऐसी theory जो कायनात की तमाम क़वानीन और तमाम particles को एक ही framework में समझने की कोशिश कर सकती है. And that is why physicists sometimes call it a theory of everything. Now, what is string theory? Why to talk about string theory? Actually, according to traditional physics, the smallest building blocks of matter, are those particles such as electrons, quarks, and photons. But string theory defines it in a different way. And it suggests that particles are not actually point-like objects only. Instead, they are a sort of incredible, tiny vibrating strings. You can imagine of a sort of any instrument string, depending how it vibrates, and then with different sort of vibration, it would produce different sort of musical notes. So similarly, in this string theory, sort of different vibration of these tiny strings would create different particles. For example, one particle may appear as a sort of electron, another one as a photon, and another one as a quark. And in simple words, we can think of like the entire universe may be made from different tiny particles or different tiny vibrating strings of energy. So now, the reason of proposing string theory. If I just say, like in one of the biggest challenges in physics, which is combining two successful theories, one is a sort of general relativity by Albert Einstein, which explains gravity and the large-scale universe. On the other hand, there's another one, which is a quantum mechanics, which explains the microscopic world of atoms and particles. बट जब साइंटिस्ट्स ने इन दोनों थियोरी को एक साथ करने की कोशिश करी तो लाइक से फॉर एग्जांपल व्हेन यू टॉक अबाउट द ब्लैक होल्स और बिग बैंग के वक्त फिर मैथमेटिकल प्रॉब्लम आना शुरू हो जाती है एंड the reason of bringing up string theory could be an attempt to unite these two pillars of physics into one consistent theory. And amazingly, if I talk about the size of strings, there would be like unbelievably tiny strings. Imagine if a measurement would be a sort of 10 to the power minus 35 meters. Far, far, far smaller than an atom and even much smaller than a proton. It's so tiny that no current microscope particles accelerator can directly observe it. And the reason why string theory is difficult to verify experimentally. And when I talk about extra dimensions, like one of the most surprising prediction, of string theory, that is like the universe may have more dimensions than the 3 dimension of space and 1 dimension of time that we experience. Because in predictions, string theory requires a sort of 10 dimensions or even 11 dimensions in a sort of an advanced model. Because in sort of observable manner, हम सिर्फ 4 dimensions को ही महसूस कर सकते हैं. लेकिन जब string theory जब ये बताती है कि बाकी की डायमेंशंस बहुत ही छोटे स्केल पर कर्ल्ड अप हो सकती है और बहुत ही कॉम्प्लिकेटेड हो सकती है. सो यहाँ कहने का मकसद ये है कि जो वो एडिशनल डायमेंशंस हैं वो एक तरह से हमारी आंख से ओझल है या हमारी इंसानी आंखों से देख नहीं सकती. And when I talk about string theory, that gravity naturally appears in its equations. Scientists believe that maybe, tiny particle called a graviton, which could carry the force of gravity. And in string theory, the specific vibration of strings behave exactly like the graviton predicted by a sort of quantum physics. And it was so exciting for physicists to consider gravity to be added up in string theory. Another addition in the string theory, and that was a sort of a biggest question by the time about Big Bang. For example, what happened before the Big Bang, or why does the universe have the laws it has, or what exists inside black holes? The reason that scientists are still searching on to find out the answers of these questions. String theory can provide mathematical possibilities to answer these questions. Now, the criticism about this string theory, that many scientists argue that, of course, it's not yet been experimentally proven, or its predictions are difficult to test, and there may be many other possible versions of this theory. That's the reason that the string theory is still in a sort of a theoretical framework. So fascinating idea of string theory and fate that trying to find out कि कायनात किस तरह काम करती है. फेथ और रिलीजन के अक्सर ये सवाल होते हैं कि कायनात का क्या मकसद है और हम यहाँ तक कैसे आए और किस तरह आए. और यहाँ साइंटिफिक डिस्कवरीज और स्पिरिचुअल रिफ्लेक्शन दोनों ही की बहुत ज़्यादा अहमियत और ज़रूरत है. And a very important point to be noted here, that string theory doesn't prove or disprove the existence of God. It really helps us to understand the universe physical structure. And in the end, I would like to conclude here that string theory proposes that everything is made up of tiny vibrating strings. Different vibrations create different particles, and it attempts to a sort of unite quantum mechanics and gravity. It also predicts extra dimension of the space. It may explain black holes and the Big Bang. However, still not experimentally confirmed. So that is all for now. Bye bye.